Well, hey everybody, how you doing? This is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com. The podcast show is what you're listening to, the jkevinjohnson.com podcast show, a show that exists for your benefit, that exists for your encouragement, for your edification, and also for a little bit of entertainment. What's the point in listening to this show if you're not getting at least one or two laughs out of it? You know what I mean? You could be doing anything else. You could be doing a whole bunch of other stuff with your time, but I'm grateful and appreciative and glad that you decided to lend me your ear for give me about 30 minutes, and we'll be short, fast, and I'll try to be concise and hold to the rough outline that I've sketched for this show. Why does this show exist? I've been thinking about this, and a dear friend of mine had prompted me to kind of go over this a little more. I've gone over it in the past on past shows, but I do need to slow down a little bit and kind of take my time and kind of knead out and hash out the reason for why this show exists and why I even do this. Why do I even spend my time even doing a podcast show? Well, all I can really say in a nutshell is that I've been urged, I've been pushed, I've been prodded, I've been lured. I don't know how else you can say it. This is something I've been prepared to do for a while, and it's funny how you don't realize a lot of things about your life until you actually sit down and do some meditation and kind of do some review and reflection and ponder. And I'm talking about you. When you sit down and you look at your life and you start putting pieces together, you'll be like, wow, I was really prepared yesterday for what I'm doing today and what I'll be doing for tomorrow. So nothing's by happenstance in your life. Just know that your life has a purpose. You exist for a reason in this time, in this manner. So just know that you just aren't a cosmic accident, so to speak. You do have a reason for being here, and just know that it's with purpose, and it's up to you to find out what it is. Ask the Creator, what is my purpose? Why am I here? Why was I born during this time? But anyway, I'm going to talk about the framework out of which this show exists, and the framework out of which I operate when I do this show. We are living in some dire times. We are living in the last days, I believe, and it's been true ever since the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. But I believe that we're living in the last of the last days, and that we're getting close to a transition from one age to another, meaning that growing up, I used to hear that people used to be scared of the end of the world, but no, it's not the end of the world, end of time. It'll be the end of the world as we know it, so to speak. We started out in Eden when you look at Genesis, and instead of wiping us out and starting over, the Creator has decided to stick with Plan A. The Creator has decided to stick with us, and he's big enough to work with the free will agents that he's created, being us, and also the heavenly beings too that also have free will. So we serve, and this is a big God beyond any word, anything we can fathom. This is an infinite God, and our finite minds cannot even begin to wrap around this concept, this being of the Creator of the universe. Which is why we need his son Jesus Christ to look at as an example. He said he told one of the disciples, "When you see me, you've seen the Father." So through Christ, we see the Father. So it's important that you have a relationship with Christ, so that you understand the Creator, the infinite Yahweh, through his Son, Jesus Christ. But anyway, what's the framework? Well, the framework simply is this. Like I said, we started out in Eden, and we're on our way back to restoration of Eden, in which the world in which we live will be the paradise in which the Creator intended it to be in the beginning. He intended to start out with a small plot known as the Garden of Eden, and through relationship with the human beings, to turn that small plot into a world Eden. Well, the plan got sidetracked for a minute, but instead of just wiping everything out and saying, just forget it, he decided to go with it, and he already had a plan in place. But we won't digress too much that way. But that's the framework I'm operating out of. Now, given that we're in the last, I believe that we're in the last of the last days, we are being set up for some hard times. Now, I can't speak to any time frame on that, but just in looking at where I'm at now, where I'm operating, where I'm speaking from in the U.S. of A, in the Western Hemisphere, we are really being set up for some hard times that we, in this generation, my generation, has not seen or endured like other generations in times past, and also in other areas of the globe. So we're being set up for some hard times. We've lived at ease in Zion, so to speak, for a long time. I'm in my mid 30s, and so I've had a life of relative ease, so to speak. I haven't really seen anything other than 9/11, I guess you could say, that I can recall with any kind of clarity that's really changed my worldview, changed my view about things. So we're being set up for some hard times. I was recently listening to, re-listening to a speech, a talk given by a author by the name of David Rothkopf, and he wrote the book Superclass, and this is a very important book that you should read. If you're not a reader, then you should listen to it. If you're not one to listen to it, at least watch the hour or however long speech that you will find in its various forms from the author David, that he's given at the Chicago School, that he's given at the Council on Foreign Relations, I believe. That he's given in different areas and forums on this small group of super elite, that he calls them, that wields majority of the money, power, and influence over the globe. Now listen to that. You got a small group of a couple thousand people wielding power and influence over 7 billion people. That's just unrealistic and unheard of. And this knowledge, this understanding, this concept is now being brought forth, now being discussed openly as if, it's no big deal. Where in times past, if I even said something of that nature, I was crazy. I would be deemed crazy, a tinfoil hat, a conspiracy theorist. But not only looking at him, you can look at other other individuals working in higher levels of government and corporations and stuff like that, and they all say the same thing. I just recently read, like I quoted the other day, World Order by Henry Kissinger. I've listened to speeches by Carol Quigley, who wrote the book Tragedy and Hope, who was a professor at supposedly brilliant professor at Georgetown University, I believe, and was the mentor to President President Bill Clinton, and so there's you can look at the works of Zbigniew Brzezinski. These are just a small group of people that I've just quoted, but it's the quotes and the things that are said and written down is just in thousands of it's just out there. So all you gotta do is just turn over a few stones and you'll find the trail. But anyway, the framework is that we're headed for hard times, and there is a silent war, a quiet silent war being waged, a quiet war being waged with silent weapons. And so in coming to this realization and finding this out, and then also realizing through my studies as far as looking at the Bible that this is no new thing. This has always been in existence, and there's always been a struggle between struggle for the gears and the control levers that controls and influences society and world at a high level. So this is nothing new. It's just in our recent modern day, we're seeing a fruition in this version, but it's the same old game, different package, and the same old guy behind the same old spiritual entity operating in the darkness, in the shadows, and out of view behind the curtain, just like the Wizard of Oz. Behind the big curtain, you'll find a little old a little old spirit sitting there just wielding influence. You're like, really? This is the one? This is the one that's been causing all this trouble and stuff? Oh my goodness. This is just crazy. So in that framework, in that way of thinking, just let me see if I can crystallize it even more. We've been handed a blueprint for living in the modern world that we live in that is antithetical. It's against the human capacity to be a self-empowered, self-willed, and thriving biomechanical sentient being under the sovereignty and rulership of the Creator through his son, Jesus Christ. So we've been handed a system, a way of living, a blueprint, a paradigm that is totally against us being thriving, powerful, operating at our full DNA potential selves. We've been handed a way of living that is to suppress that is to manage that is to contain that uniqueness about us, that is to squash it, and that is to bring it into captivity, and then deconstruct it, and then ultimately to destroy it and snuff it out. So this is the framework in which that I do these. This is what's lurking in the background of my head whenever I do these podcast shows, and when you really get a crystal clear clarification, personal experience with it, it changes you forever, and it changes how you see the world, and it's also freeing too. Once you actually fully cross over and lose the fear, lose the anxiousness, you lose the hesitation to actually just let go of what you've known to be your reality and your perception of reality, and just allow the scriptures to give you that proper view of the world, which is upside down, inside out, compared to the one that's been handed to you, as far as how you should go about living your life. So we've been born into a system that gives us a blueprint that is in direct opposition to us reaching our full potential in relationship with the Creator through his son, Jesus Christ. We've been born into a world system that is totally against that. And we're comfortable with it, and we love it, and we don't know any better or any different until we all come in contact with the spirit of God that is daily knocking at the door of our hearts, wanting to come in and comfort us and take residence in us and save us from death and destruction, and cross us over, bring us over into the kingdom of light, which is about life, eternal life, and not only just eternal life and eternal existence, but a happy, abundant, full life in this earth as well as the one to come. So this is what's lurking in my background, in the back of my head whenever I do these podcast shows. Now, in saying that, we're at a point in history in which we're due, according to Scripture, we're due for some hard times. And not even just looking at that, but just looking at this country that I'm talking from right now. We've been kicking the bucket down a ways, a few generations, and eventually the puck's going to stop somewhere. So, in knowing that the puck is going to stop, the shoe is going to drop as far as our economy, which undergirds every area and aspect of our existence and being, and knowing that eventually the math is saying that trouble will be here. Trouble's going to come. And knowing that the math is saying trouble is on its way. A train is coming. Now, either you can stay on the tracks and get ran over, or you can get on the tracks, get out of the way, and not only survive, but you can live, you can prosper, and you can grow richer than ever, wealthier than ever in every area of your existence in these hard times that is coming your way, our way. So that's why I do these shows. That's why I do it with such an urgency. But that's why I talk and I keep myself at a calm level, just so that just because I don't want you to get hype. I don't want you to get fearful. I don't want you to get excited. I don't want you to get overly energized right now, but I just want you to sit down and take this in and understand it, so that you can live an Eden-like paradise in the inner man, inner woman, and that will manifest and project its way outwardly, and that you'll have influence and effect over those that falls under your sphere of influence. So this is why I do the show, why this show exists. If it wasn't for me being moved, I wouldn't do these shows at all. And it's not about me. It's about what how the Creator feels about you, and that He wants you to be prepared. He don't want you to go on this thing not knowing and not being able to see, but He wants you to go in with eyes wide open and enjoy the ride. Just like a video game or a movie, you want to go in prepared. You want to go into battle with your spiritual warfare gear on, prepared, and you want to go in equipped, and you want to go in knowing how to use it and be an expert at it. You know what I mean? So the reason why, this is the reason why this show exists. Now, so in a nutshell, over the course of this show, we're going to talk about tips, strategies, instructions, and best practices that's going to help you design your life, that's going to help you let go of the blueprint that you've been given and start to implement things in your life that's going to help you live in your own Zion. Wherever you may be, it's going to help you live in your own paradise. Wherever you may be, it's going to help you live in your own oasis of hope and freedom and abundance and all the goodness. So no matter, first it starts with your heart, and then it's going to resonate to every other area and being of your human existence. So health, wealth, and your spiritual walk. That's what this show is about. Implementing small how-tos in your life to help bring this into fruition. I'm all about study, and I know you are too, about studying and memorizing verses and meditating and getting some understanding and knowledge as much as you can. But at the same time, we got to be doers and just live practically and apply this stuff and make it real and make it real and make some use out of it in today's world we live in. Growing up in church, born and raised in church, a lot of this stuff was just kind of like, spiritual talk to me. It really didn't make sense to me until I got older, and I start realizing it's like, wait a minute, this is stuff I'm supposed to be implementing in my life and actually using and doing. And when you start doing it, it's like, whoa, I like this. This is making life a little better, a little easier. And I like easy. I know you like easy too, right? I love easier. Give me the easy button. Ain't no shame in my game. I ain't gonna be talking about. I ain't gonna be like John Henry digging holes in mountains trying to fight no machine, just so I can prove how how no machine is better than me. No, the machine's better than me, and I'm gonna stand behind it. I'm gonna push the button. You won, Mr. Machine, and when you run out of oil, I'm gonna oil you up. But design your life. I'm gonna talk about, before we get off here. Let me talk about one way in which you can design your life. Let me talk about some strategies and tips to help you get your health in order for the new coming year, the new year. The 2016 is around the corner, so we're going to talk about some good helps and tips and practices that you can implement in your life. Now, the reason why I start with health is because if you ain't got health, you ain't got nothing. Good health is good wealth. When you got health, you got more than you need when you got some good health. And if you don't believe me, just lose it. Lose your health and see what happens. And see that you'll give just about anything to get that good health back. So we start there because it's the foundation of everything else. If you can't get up and move and go about and enjoy your life and have some energy, life just you ain't living a quality of life that's admirable. You're not living a quality of life that others are going to want to live. You're going to live a quality, a standard, a level of life that people are going to look at and be like, wow, glad it's not me. I'm sorry it's you, but I'm glad it's not me. So we're going to look at, let's go over 10 tips real fast. Eat real food. We're talking about designing your health. Eat real food. That means stop eating at the fast food. Start packing your lunches. Start going down. We live in Kentucky, y'all, or some of us do. There's farmland everywhere. Start going directly to the farm. That's what I do. That's what I started doing. Let's put it that way. When my eyes became really open to this, and I lost my health, I said I got it back, and these are practices I implement in my life, just because I live on the edge, and I know you do too. So start eating real food, farm food if you can get it. Go to the farmer's market. Go to the niche health food stores like a Whole Foods or like a Trader Joe's or like your local co-op, and start shopping in there and learning about some things. So eat real food, number one. Number two, practice food insurance. That means using vitamins and supplements in their raw food in their rawest, cleanest, purest forms that you can find them. Today's world is going to tell you it's not important, but when you look at the elite and what they do, the top 1%, they all practice good insurance. They got insurance. They're insured out the wazoo, so you should be too, and that's including your food. So get some good vitamin supplements. The foundational 4, known as vitamin D, fish oils, cod liver oil, a good multivitamin, and then also maybe I said vitamin D3, maybe a super greens powder, I believe, or enzyme or something like that. The foundational 4, and this is what I've done and I've learned to do from listening to the advice of doctors and people who actually do read the research and actually have practices and stuff like that. So this is something that you may or may not consider. Number 3, exercise. I don't even have to elaborate. We all know this. Exercise, which means get up and exert some energy and move and work on our muscles. One caveat: shorten your cardio, increase your body resistance exercises. So do more body resistant exercises and do little cardio exercising. Number 4, reduce your toxic load. This means that you want to look at your cookware. You want to learn about the different cookware that's out there and how it affects you. You want to go with stainless steel. You want to go with glass. You want to go with, I believe, ceramic. And you want to stay away from these non-stick coatings that when you heat them up, they produce toxic gases and things like that. So this is something you want to look at. Number 5, you want to stabilize your emotions. This means you want to get to a point in your life to where you're not unstable emotionally. You want to look at who you allow yourself to get emotionally tied to. You want to not allow negative emotions like fear, anger, hatred, bitterness, unforgiveness. You don't want these things to take root into your heart, and you don't want to allow them to stay there and plant themselves there and be there. You want to feel these things, allow these things to take its course in your life, and then you shed them, you let them go, you release them, you do not hold on to them. And this is a choice. You do not hold on to unforgiveness, but you let it go. It's easier said than done because we like to hold on to negative emotions sometimes because it feels good to our flesh, but in the end, it's not hurting anybody but us, but you, but me. So at some point, we have to let these emotions go, stabilize, and learn to live in joy, contentment, happiness, to be peaceful, gentle, kindness, self-discipline. These are emotions and things that we want to pursue and actually expend our time trying to implement into our lives. Number 6, you want to sharpen your mind. You want to be sober. You want to practice critical thinking using logic, the tool of logic that we all have. In one scripture, God talks about, come, let us reason together. He wants you to be sober-minded, able to acquire knowledge, develop understanding, and then also from that, you distill nuggets of wisdom that helps you along your way. So you want to sharpen your mind. You want to play small mental games like chess. A lot of these video games today, they have options of exercising your mind, word puzzles. Reading helps sharpen your mind, just simply reading. So these are small things you can do to help sharpen your mind and keep you sharp. Number 7, you want to form good relationships versus bad ones. You want people around you that's going to help bring you up and that you can learn from and that can mentor you, as well as you want to dwell with some peers that you can kind of just relax with and be yourself with. And then also you want to have a group of friends in which you can mentor them and teach them as you're taught and as you learn. And you want to get around good people, get around family, friends, people that's going to accept you for being you, and limit your time with people who aren't going to accept you for just who you are. So you want to go out of your way to form good relationships with people that you find interesting and that you're attracted to, and that you like spending time around. So that's number 7. Number 8, you want to become proactive about your health. And this is simply implementing things like going to the chiropractor, doing your regular visits with your MD, with your doctor, your practitioner. You want to be proactive as far as looking at your family history and what runs in your family. You want to always be reading and staying up to date on the latest research, as well as knowing some basic principles that we're talking about that's going to help you stay out of the doctor's office. So you want to be proactive. You don't want to be reactive and just sitting and waiting, twiddling your thumbs, waiting to be hit with the next disease or whatever. You want to be resilient. You want to be sitting there just getting stronger, just can't wait for the next thing to come along so it could bounce off of you and keep on going. Number 9, you want to get plenty of sleep. I can't express how important this is, because sleep is like a daily reset button on your life. It will help get your emotions. It will help bring all this other stuff into line. So you want to get good sleep. I know this is easier said than done, but it's a goal that's worthy of pursuing, believe me. And then also number 10, you want to know your purpose, and in knowing your purpose, you'll become more passionate about life, and life will become a lot more funner and interesting, whether you're going through hard circumstances or not. And you'll have a resolve, a resolution about life when you know what your purpose is and why you're here. So these are 10 ways, 10 tips, 10 worthy goals to pursue, 10 things to implement in your life that help you design your life for freedom, abundance, and thriving, versus the paradigm that we've been given, the template that we've been given to operate from is total opposite of everything I just named on this 10-point list. So this is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com. Here, just wanted to talk about why this show exists, the thought processes and the thoughts that dwell in the back of my head and in the background as I do these shows and these podcasts, so you know why it's important, why it's essential that we really do pursue some of these goals and make changes and not become so enwrapped, so tethered to this system, this way of living in this fog. So this is Kevin over at jkevinjohnson.com. Hopefully you've gotten something that's edifying to your soul, and that's something of value that you can use. And I appreciate, love, and adore, and thank you for listening and investing your time into listening. And hopefully you're getting fed. So if you would, just leave some comments and just say hello. May the Lord keep you and bless you, and may his face shine upon you, give you peace, and be gracious unto you. Love you guys, and talk to you soon.